before kickoff, the Legia Warsaw fans had a big tifo across the crowd with a knight stabbing a lion in the head saying, "Fear no one." Well, they should have feared Chelsea's B team.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
Yo, what's going on, friends? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I hope you're doing well. Really do hope that Legia Warsaw 0, Chelsea 3 of the bloody goals, yeah? And I'm going to say it, it's the perfect night in Europe for Chelsea, all things considered, and I'll tell you why. You might think, whoa there, Jan, but hear me out. It was a sort of turgid, boring first half, but the changes, both tactical and personnel by the Chelsea manager, completely revitalised the game, and it was a good demonstration from the Chelsea manager how to analyse something and make it better, fix it. And of course, a 3-0 away win in the first leg of a tie is perfect. You got to see rotation, you got to see rested legs, you got to see Tyreek George's first Chelsea goal, richly deserved. You got to see Noni Madueke and Sancho linking up twice, which would be great for both of them. You got to see, Reece James showing flexibility again. A great performance from Josh Achiampong, starting in the defence but playing in the inverted role. Heck, even at the end of the game, Philip Jorgensen had to make an important save to protect a clean sheet, and then the Chelsea team collectively, in the final 5 minutes, defended that clean sheet. And demonstrated the other side of the game, all while protecting, the likes of Nico Jackson, who was fully rested, Enzo Fernandez, who was fully rested, Moises Caicedo, who was fully rested and very much needed it. Therefore, ergo, a perfect night in Europe. For me, anyway. So welcome back. We're going to talk about the game. Thank you, as always, for joining me here on Football Therapy. You're most welcome. And I do appreciate the community, the viewers, the subscribers hanging out with me here on the channel. So thank you. And I do care for you very much. Not like that. Right. So I am, for reference, going to use SofaScore because it's a nice platform to use. Here we go. Bing! As you can see, attacking momentum. Ring! Oh, Chelsea. Oh, yeah. The Nkunku missed penalty. Maybe that's the one moment that perhaps wasn't super happy and positive. But for all this, that was the most boring nonsense I've seen in a long time. Noni Madueke winning man of the match off the bench, by the way. Incroyable. We'll get into it. Legia Warsaw, by the way, used to being more offensive in their own domestic league, of course. I want to say it now. Amazing support. Yeah, I made a joke about the tifo, but incredible support. Like, we knew it was going to be prior. Maresca was constantly asking questions about the atmosphere. Obviously flares, loads of smoke in the stadium for the initial phases. And fair play to Chelsea's youngsters, didn't rattle them. They heads down, they played their game. But yeah, obviously an immense support from the home team. So they played, because they knew Chelsea were coming to town, they played a reactive defensive game. Their goalkeeper was by far their best player here. As you can see, he conceded 3 goals, but SofaScore still gave him an 8.3 rating. Jorgensen in goal. The back 3 consisted of Badiashile, Tosin and Josh Achiampong, with originally Gusto inverting into the left 10, as you can see there. Reece James being the sort of holding midfielder, I guess, exclusively in their half, it looks like. Really strong performance. Dewsbury Hall sort of popping up lately. He played in, Gusto played in that left pocket, Dewsbury Hall played in the right pocket, and then Palmer was literally just a free roll. Didn't have the greatest game, to be fair. Still, I mean, he needs Bay on the pitch, doesn't he, Nico Jackson? But, whatever, really, innit? But yeah, Gusto left pocket, Kieran Dewsbury Hall right pocket, Cole free roll, but of course got taken off at half time after being relatively ineffective. And Nkunku initially playing as a striker, but then sort of going into that left pocket role when Tyreek George, who was initially a left winger, sort of played a little bit more as a striker there. And then, we saw some changes. 5 of the Blighters. At halftime, we saw two of them, which was, of course, Levi Colwill coming on for Tosin Adarabioyo, changing the style of play a little bit, moving players around, and also Cole Palmer, who was playing as a free role player for Noni Madueke, who came on as an exclusive right winger, which pushed Tyreek George a little bit more up in the striker role, which, of course, saw him get his goal. And like, I want to applaud the manager because he made these changes. They would have had a plan. They would have had an idea how Warsaw were going to play, how we're going to get these points. He watched it for 45 minutes and was like, nah, bollocks to that. I'm going to make changes. You go there, you go there. I'm going to swap him. Chelsea win 3-0 and see out the game with no injuries, have some positive stories with Josh, the teenagers, basically, the academy teenagers, Shim, Tyreek and Josh. Lovely. Good performances from Dewsbury Hall. Captain's performance from Reece James. And then, of course, you've got like icing on the cake of like senior wingers, Sancho and Noni, just doing the business, linking up twice. Sancho's never going to be an elite goal scorer for Chelsea, even if he makes it, but he is going to get a bunch of assists if he doesn't make it. They're putting extra A's in there, Italiano. But 2 assists today from him. Yeah, great. Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff indeed. So we should look at the stats for top bants. The Chelsea, the away team, 72% possession, as you can see here on the left-hand side. Over 4 XG. So we underperformed our XG. And that probably has something to do with this guy, their goalkeeper. He prevented nearly a whole goal at 0.7, which is actually a lot. He made 7 saves. So he's the reason why this wasn't a 4-0 away win for Chelsea. 5 big chances, though. I mean, again, their goalkeeper was good. 24 shots! Yum, 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 yum. And look, it was very, very strong from Chelsea. Of course, the first half, not much happened except a lot of field tilt, which is essentially Chelsea holding the ball, playing high up the pitch, playing in the opposition half, pass. No penetration, no real idea. But then we see the changes, of course. Tosin coming off for Colwill. And let's just see what Colwill played on the heat map. Yeah, just a really aggressive right centre-back. Interesting as a left footer. Or I suppose he would have played the central centre-back. Because remember, in Maresca's system, in possession, you have 3 players at the back, and there's a central player. That, in the second half, was Levi Colwill here. And, of course, we know his passing's very good. Probably better than Tosin. So that made a big difference. And then what else happened sorry, I'm just moving everything around. Of course, Madueke came on for Palmer, but we can speak about Palmer in a moment. George getting the goal in the 49th minute, so immediately in the second half, we're on top. George gets that goal. It's an amazing moment, and he deserves, because he's been great. He's been great, Tyreek George, in the first team. He's played left wing, he's played right wing. Recently, he's been deployed as a striker at times and looked all right. In the sort of same way Pedro Neto is that sort of false 90 striker kind of guy. But he's got some assists. There were some stats circulating around social media that his assists per minute ratio is actually really, really strong for under 21s. He's like one of the best. It's great. He's been excellent. He deserves his chance in the Chelsea first team, and look at him celebrate. It's an amazing moment for him. Very pleased for him. Bless him. And then, of course, look, there's 2... We'll speak about the Nkunku miss in just a moment when we get into player performances. There's 2 goals, both Jadon Sancho with Noni Madueke. Both good moves, both good finishes. Noni is a goal-scoring winger. He might not be in Mohamed Salah mode at the moment, but Salah didn't become an elite goal-scoring winger until he was 25? How old's Noni Madueke? He turned 23 in March. So last month he turned 23. He can score goals, Noni. I'm not saying he's going to turn it, but he might turn it into Salah one day, and that will probably be bad because we probably will sell him eventually. But he's our goal-scoring winger at the moment. You can make arguments that he shouldn't be. It should be, I don't know, Pedro Neto, who's an elite international that's got the capacity to score goals. But Noni's probably the most goal hungry from the group of them. I wonder if that will change over time. Of course, we're going to buy a new winger. Estevar will join. Yada yada yada. Tyreek George might start popping off. Who knows? Now he's broken his duck there. But yeah, great for Sancho, showing he's a creative player, creating 2 goals. Great for Noni. He's a goal-scoring winger, scoring 2 goals. Lovely. All right, so let's talk about player performances. Jorgensen, didn't have anything to do, but credit to him making the save. Defenders, I think Badiashile probably... I mean, the only one really worth talking about here is Joshua Champong because he's a teenager. He played... look at that, mate. He played so high up. He even started playing in the left pocket, I saw. Strong defensively. 97% passing accuracy, 2 key passes, long ball. 2 out of 2 dribbles completed, just really good. I mean, you could say what you want about the opposition. Oh, it's Legia Warsaw. They're not going to win the Polish league. Yada yada yada. But that's still atmosphere. It's away in Europe against guys that are probably best part of twice your age or whatever. Some of them, I imagine, a lot older at least a decade older, 10, 15 years older. It's really, really impressive. So out of the defenders, he stood out for me. Reece James, captain's performance, got a high rating here on SofaScore 8. Dewsbury Hall, I do want to take a second, because Dewsbury Hall also nearly scored a wicked goal when Cole Palmer tried to score, he did a mistake, and the ball fell for Dewsbury Hall, and his left foot forced a really good save from this goalkeeper who, stopped this from being 4 or 5-0 to Chelsea. He obviously scored that Eden Hazard-esque goal the other day, a few weeks ago, Dewsbury Hall. I'm not saying we should keep him, but quietly, good for him. He's been contributing more and more to the point where Maresca thinks he can rely on him. I don't think for a moment, unless he continues this trajectory in the final, 10, 11 games, how many games are left in the season in all comps. If he continues this trend, I'm not saying we'll definitely keep him, but there might be a conversation, is he worth keeping around to play these 2 different roles as a utility backup? I'm not sure he will. I think he'll just be sold. And actually, these good performances are benefiting him because it's raising his profile. It's benefiting Chelsea. It's going to get more suitors for him. But yeah, he deserves shouts. Absolutely. Sancho, 2 assists. Frustrating at times, but 5 key passes. And this is what Sancho is about. He's about 1v1s. And then finding chances. I mean, 5 key passes in a single game is really, really positive, guys. Of course, getting 2 assists as well. It's good. He only won 2 out of his 9 ground duels. And he only completed 1 dribble. But when you are just creating that many chances from a wide area, that is his job. He did his job. Tyreek George, delighted for him, like I've said. Palmer, really frustrating again. Obviously hooked at halftime. I do feel a little bit sorry for Palmer because he needs, I think he is like a plug and play player that you can just put in and he makes the team better. But I think when he's perhaps a bit more lower on confidence, he needs more continuity around him. We'll see. Look, I'm sure he obviously got an assist the other day. When was it? Against Tottenham, a couple of games ago now. But he's an amazing footballer. He'll find form again. How he got a lower rating than Nkunku, who frustrated the living hell out of me. Because in the first half, he was very frustrating. Of course, he got a 1.16 XG. That will be the penalty. Awful penalty, I must say. Tell me in the comments if you think I'm being harsh on Nkunku. I found him really frustrating. But looking at his stats here, 1 out of 1 crosses, 1 out of 1 long balls. He did make a key pass. 4 out of 6 ground duels, so showed tenacity much more than Sancho. But when you're playing centrally, down the middle, whether that's second striker, or even this sort of direct number 10, I don't know. He's just not. It's not for him here, is it? That penalty just showed. He looked disappointed, but he's supposed to be a good penalty taker, and it was not a great penalty for me. Even against a really informed goalkeeper in K. Tobias, apparently his name. And yeah, man, I'm feeling pretty good about it, I must say. It was a boring first half, which made the changes important, to which the changes were made well by the Chelsea manager. And I don't know, I feel pretty good about it, ultimately. Like I said, the youth players having a good experience there. 3-0, clean sheet, seeing out at the end. I'm pretty happy, man. No injuries, rotations, puts us in a comfortable, strong position for the home tie. Maybe we can be a little bit more maybe you see a Shimweka come on, at 60 minutes and get some real minutes there. It's nice to just see him come on. I'm pretty happy about it. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below. I'll be very keen to hear them, but I'm feeling quite positive about this. And off to the semi-finals we go, hopefully, and beyond, and trying to win it. And I've been firm from the start, man. I want to, not like that, I want to win this competition, and I'll be happy to win it, despite people having differing opinions about this competition and Chelsea being in it. I think it's a great opportunity for the youngest squad in the Premier League to learn what lifting a trophy feels like. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you for liking and subscribing, and I will see you back here soon, hopefully. Peace.